diet? Because I'm assuming that most of your patients are probably more health-minded. And have you seen any kind of link between the type of foods that they're eating and that they're feeding their kids?
You ask a very good
And
question,
how that
and we're going to put you
corresponds to
on.
just
Let me tell you, Rick, the question, diet, are people who are healthier, eat better, will they be less affected by these infectious diseases? I got to tell you, the very hard study to do, very, very hard. But there was something that was done in Australia. They looked at 1,000 children, and they looked at 4 groups, totally breastfed and vaccinated. Another group was totally breastfed and unvaccinated. The third group was bottle-fed and vaccinated. And the fourth group was bottle-fed and vaccinated. So bottle-fed, breastfed, vaccinated, and unvaccinated, 4 groups. And they looked at respiratory illnesses. The study leaves a little bit to be desired because it wasn't totally clear what it meant vaccinated, how many vaccines when they were given. But the findings were startling. And they found, we would expect that the lowest percentage of respiratory illnesses was, and we found that was right, breastfed and unvaccinated. What was shocking is what came in second, bottle-fed and unvaccinated. That was shocking because it means that the effects of vaccines on respiratory illness, at least in this study, was more potent than breastfeeding, which means if you gave the absolute perfect nutrition to your child in the first year of life, vaccinated them increased their risk of respiratory illness far more than anything else. Now, once again, that didn't take into effect. Maybe they were saved. They didn't die because of the vaccines, But everyone gives you such a thought that these vaccines are so life savings that it doesn't seem to make any difference. Let's go here. I got Kim asked regarding vitamin D supplementation. Is it a fat-soluble vitamin? And the supplementation amount listed on your Home First site are quite high. What are the risks for over-supplementing with this particular vitamin? Kim, extremely valuable, and I'm going to even put up some of the recommendations. First of all, I have to say, they aren't really my recommendations. They're recommendations from some of the top scientists, Dr. Hollis, Dr. Grant, Dr. Cannell, Dr. Grant, who've been studying vitamin D now for 35 to 40 years, and finally they've been heard. I'm going to start with what are the typical vitamin D absorptions from the sun in the summer during the midday heat from like 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. And don't ask me about Central Standard Time. No, about not daylight savings time, because that may change a little bit. If you're out with 40%, and in fact I have it over here, 40% body exposure, 20 minutes in the midday sun will give you 5,000 to 10,000 units of vitamin D. That's an incredible number, But even more, lifeguards will get an average of 50,000 a day. And lifeguards could be among the healthiest of our population. And I think what I think is happening in the vitamin D, first of all, vitamin D is not a vitamin. It's a hormone. And that what we were learned in medical school, nursing school, and in biology class is wrong. It's more like insulin and thyroid than vitamin A or vitamin K. Can you overdose? Yes. But you're going to need enormous amounts to overdose. And the studies have shown that the average adult burns between 5,000 and 10,000 units a day of vitamin D, which means if you're taking less than 5,000 or 10,000 a day, you most probably aren't going to be replacing what you're losing. The amount, if you're in the sun, will last for a few days. But if you live in the Midwest or in the East Coast or even the Upper West part of our country, you're not going to get very much sun for 6 or 7 months, and we're not even storing it up enough in the summer. And so it's not a fat-soluble vitamin. The recommendations I have are based on the latest scientific evidence. Dr. Bill Grant was a former NASA scientist. Dr. Grant, he left NASA and started doing work on vitamin D. And he just finished a paper. And the paper showed that if, and let's see, I'm not sure I could, I know where to find the graph. If, I'm going to try to do something a little bit here, so bear with me. This is kind of an important graph. And you can see all my all my chicken scratches and all my, here's vitamin D. I got tons of stuff in vitamin D. It's not what I want. I've written a few papers on vitamin D in pregnant women and vitamin D in children, more than just rickets. And I've got here we go. Catalog. Let me try this. Let's see if it's going to work. Make it a little bit smaller. I need to close this. Okay, we're getting there. Bear with me, please. Now I got to make it the view. Page display, 2 up. All right, this may do it. Except it's not coming the right way. All right, Alicia, why am I? What? I want the graph here, but it's make it a little bit smaller and see if it. No, it's. All right, maybe I'll try to make it a little bit bigger. I wasn't prepared for this one here. Oh, not too bad. I think I have. It's fairly clear here. How do I get rid of this here? I can't get rid of that. All right, take a look at this graph, kind of an important graph. And it's in our catalog. And anyone who wants to copy the catalog, just email me at mayor@homefirst.com. This is disease incidence prevention by serum level of vitamin D. Let me see if I can get a little red pointer. That'll make it easier. Actually, look at that. This is what, not only theoretical, but there's scientific studies, and the bottom here has all the studies. It won't go down now with the pointer. But this is all cancers combined. This level here, 24, is what the typical person in this country has. In fact, when I did 500 tests on people with vitamin D in our office, healthy people, very few of them were above 25. But if you bring your number to 40, that's nanograms per ml, you would lower your cancer rate by 35%. Take a look at breast cancer. If you got your number up to 52, 83% breast cancer is reduced. Colon cancer, heart attacks, multiple sclerosis, all on the right side of the graph. And this is really kind of a frightening type of thing because what it shows here is that the country is massively deficient. Now, how do we get massively deficient? Here is rickets, and that's what everyone thought was important. To prevent 99% of rickets, you need a blood level of 18. And therefore, they thought that if you have a blood level of 18, 19, or 20, that's all you needed. No one put the connection between vitamin D and all these other type of illnesses. Let's see. Okay, let me take, Renee asks, what do you think it will take to change the vaccine schedule given to the public? Most people just accept whatever their doctors tell them, that vaccines are safe and necessary. What can we do to make a difference to those who follow the mainstream? Oh my God, are you right? That's what we're taught. We're taught as we grow up that we should listen to authoritative people who have scientific backing behind them. I think that's one of the things that we should do. Unfortunately, too many of the policies are made by public health people who aren't even MDs. They aren't even MDs. Maybe have a PhD in biology or something like that. But even worse, they aren't vested necessarily in science. Very good point. I mean, I tell you, I'm so proud of all the many, many families who are standing up and saying, we're not going to take this anymore until you show us this is safe and effective. And if you take the mercury out, that's not good enough because that's only the beginning. I want to take the aluminum out and the MSG and the ethylene glycol, and then you have to show us that it's safe after that. Let's go to Sophie here. Sophie says, I was born in home, no vaccinations. I want to say no to vaccines. I have to convince partner what is best way to supplement myself, i.e. vitamin C, while breastfeeding to increase this immunity. I'm taking good quality multivitamins. Let me tell you something. Find another partner. I'm being, the unvaccinated population is by far the healthiest, Sophie. You've done everything right. I think the burden of proof is not on you, but on them. Thank you. Let's go to Margaret. How is Home First Vitamin D3 different from vitamin D that I would purchase from the local pharmacy? And actually, I've got it over here maybe on the screen a little bit. Our vitamin D has also, we have a 5,000 and 50,000, Pro D5, Pro D50, and we have probiotics in our vitamin D. Likewise, we have probiotics in many of our products, and every one of our multivitamins has high dose of vitamin D and probiotics, I know what to do. I can get this one. That's to change the view here. That may, page display, single page. I don't know, this is pathetic. Let's go the other way. There we go. There's our Pro D5. That's, our 5,000. That's okay. Leave it right there. Our prenatal multivitamin, our all ages multivitamin, all have high dose of vitamin D. We don't have any sugar or any preservatives or any type of gluten or milk or soy or anything in any of our products. Hi, Dr. Einstein. Well, let me tell you something. Hi, Mary. Mary, if you can, how do I get